To hold or not to hold? How to buy a home with a contingency in place.
You're listening to Home Sellers Advantage. I'm your host, Aaron Zapata.
And I'm your other host, Todd Anderson. We are the Bald Brothers team at Impact Realty Group with Real Broker, and we are here to give you the Home Sellers Advantage.
You can find us online at www.baldbrothers.tv. Again, that's baldbrothers.tv.
Or you can call us at 833-305-BALD. That's 833-305-2253.
That's a scary question. One that we get often. And we say, I can't list my home, guys, because I don't see any replacement homes for sale.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
You know, that's a common question we get. Yeah, and we get it because, hey, nobody wants to be homeless. And that's a misconception oftentimes people have is how do we make it work that I want to sell my home and I want to move into another home and not have a period of time where I have no place to live?
Yes, we don't want you homeless either. So guess what? We're professionals, and we have figured this out.
We have.
So imagine that you're in a classroom, and a teacher is teaching at the front of the stage and the front of the classroom, and all the kids want to move. They want to move seats. Mm-hmm. They want to change the arrangements. Mm-hmm. And the teacher doesn't ask the question, all right, who wants to move? And so kids are left wondering, like, they're thinking to themselves, I'd like to move to that seat over there, mm-hmm. But there's no empty seats. So in order for them to move, they're going to have to get somebody else to agree to move at the same time.
Yep.
And just think about that picture in your mind, because there are a lot of kids in that classroom that want to move. Mm-hmm. Perhaps there's a friend that's in a different row in a different seat, mm-hmm. and they would like to go to the back of the class. Mm-hmm. And there's that student that's in the back that really likes to be in the front, and they want to move to the front. But because the teacher hasn't asked the question to the entire class, does anybody want to move? Nobody's raising their hand until there's a brave one. Mm-hmm. And that brave one puts up their hand and says, teacher, I'd like to move. Is it possible? And then the teacher says, oh, well, let's see if anybody else wants to move. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you got to shuffle like 7 or 8 of the kids, move around, and everybody's happy.
Yep.
So were they available? Were those seats available the whole time? Pretty much. But you had to ask the question.
You didn't know, but they didn't know they were available.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's the same situation we find ourselves in when we are counseling our sellers, mm-hmm. who are first looking on the internet as buyers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're looking around their classroom. They're looking around the market on Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com or any of these other websites. And they're like, I just don't see anything that I want to move to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And guess what? No one sees your house either because you haven't put it on the market.
Because you haven't put it on the market. Or what we have discovered is some people will put their home on the market, and then, as we started at the beginning, to hold or not to hold, they will actually put a hold on their listing because they don't see anything they want to get into. And the fear is that what if we open escrow? Somebody wants to buy our house, we open escrow, and I have no place to go yet. Am I going to be forced to sell the home and not have a place to move to?
And again, we don't want you homeless. Mm-hmm. So we see this practice, and we actually don't counsel our clients if we can avoid it to do this. Mm-hmm. Because here's what happens. You're shopping for a home. You're at your computer at night. You and your partner have talked about putting your house on the market, but you're not ready yet because you haven't found the home that you want to go to.
Yeah.
So everything's on hold until you find that house, and then you spring into action. And you say, we got to go this weekend. We got to look at the house, and you love it. And then you write that offer. And in that offer, you have to say, we'd like to buy the home, mm-hmm. which in our case here is home A. We'd like to buy A. Mm-hmm. We'd like to buy the first one. Mm-hmm. But we have to sell our home. And now you have a contingent sale.
Yep.
And guess what sellers don't want to do? What don't they want to do?
You're talking about the seller of the home
Yeah.
Sellers do not want to open escrow on a home that's not on the market.
That's right.
Because you have no guarantee that the home, first of all, the home is going to have to be listed. Then it has to go through the marketing phase. You have to find a buyer. You have to open escrow. You have to go successfully through that escrow and close escrow.
In order to buy the house that you are contingent upon.
That's right. Yeah. So if a seller is selling their home and they've got a couple of different offers and one is a contingent sale and their home's not even being marketed, or maybe they were on the market and they put it on hold, they're a long ways off from having the guarantee that that whole home's going to open escrow and close escrow.
Right. And so if that's you, you find the home that you love, you make the offer subject to you going through all of that process, you are at immediate disadvantage.
Yeah.
Especially if there's multiple offers. So how do we avoid that?
Well,
that's the question we'd like to tell you about today.
That's a very good question.
Yeah, we'd like to answer that question for you.
There's a few different documents that we have to protect you as a seller and as the buyer to prevent you from being in a position where you are homeless. So if you are selling your home and you want to write an offer on a home, obviously the offer is contingent on you selling your home. But the fear is that you're selling your home, you haven't found a replacement home yet, and somebody opens escrow or offers to purchase your home and you've opened escrow before you've found your replacement property. There's actually a document that protects you as a seller. It's actually a seller contingency. Normally you think of buyer contingencies, but this is actually a seller contingency that says the sale of this home is contingent on the seller finding a replacement home.
And so what happens is when we work with the seller that wants to buy a replacement home, we will encourage them to get their home on the market before they find their dream home.
Yeah.
Because we don't want them to miss the opportunity to buy the home that they love.
Yeah.
So like Todd just said, we put your house on the market, we get it into escrow, and we have a stop clause, a protection for you that says if you can't find your replacement home, you can send your buyer packing.
Yep.
Oh, but that sounds so unfair. I don't want to inconvenience a buyer who's buying my house in case I can't find a replacement home. Okay, we get it. We have compassion, but we also have to protect you so you're not homeless.
Yeah.
So there is a clause in there, and it's not like it's hidden. It is openly expressed. It is agreed upon in writing. That buyer knows. You have to find your replacement home, or I'm not going to be able to buy your home.
Yeah.
And they have to give you a certain period of time to go find that home. It's all in the contract.
It's all in the contract. And here's the reality. If you are selling your home and you need to buy a replacement home, you have a much higher likelihood of getting your offer accepted on that replacement home if your home is already in escrow. Now, we have oftentimes counseled our sellers that, hey, if you have multiple offers and one of your offers happens to be from somebody who's selling their home, oftentimes that might be even a stronger buyer, because if they are selling their home, they have to have a place to go to. So there will be a less likelihood of them canceling escrow on your home. So you are a seller. You've opened escrow on your home. Now you're writing offers. You have a very strong offer because of the fact that your home is already in escrow, meaning you have to close escrow on that replacement, and you need to have a place to move to.
So you can either choose to be on the bottom of the pile when it comes to multiple offers as the least likely to be accepted because you have 9 obstacles to get through in order to get that property, the likelihood of getting it closed, or you can be at the top.
Yeah.
And we have found that sellers that recognize the motivation of a buyer who's already in escrow on their own home, like they are going to be homeless if they can't find that replacement home and get it done.
Oh yeah.
And so, like Todd said, we've counseled our own sellers when evaluating cash, VA, FHA, conventional, or contingent. We have often said, hey guys, look, this buyer's contingent, but they have their buyer in escrow already. They have their home in escrow already. Their buyer has already removed inspection contingencies. Their buyer has already removed loan and appraisal. The only thing they have to do is to find the replacement home, and your home happens to be it. We believe that this contingent buyer is going to get to the to the closing line faster and with more success.
Yeah.
It's not likely to back out because their buyer's already committed. Now they're going to be committed because they don't want to stop the chain of reaction.
That's right.
So if you're thinking about selling right now, Todd and Aaron are asking the question, do you want to move? This is our classroom. There are people that want to move, but we need a first starter.
Good job of bringing it all back around, Aaron, to the classroom
to say,
analogy.
Yes, I want to move, because then what we'll do is we will
raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
I want to move.
We want to know if you want to move, because we need to get your house ready so that you don't miss your perfect house that's a replacement home. We need to get your home ready with photos, with everything ready to go, so we can even present that in a package to a seller. Let's say your house isn't quite yet on the market yet, but we need to, you're ready to go. There's another option there. Let's have all the photos. Let's have everything done. Let's submit that with the offer package and saying, this is the beautiful home that my sellers are selling in order to buy your beautiful home. We think it's a great match, and that's part of the package. So there's other ways to slice and dice this.
Yep.
But we need a first starter.
That's right. Yep. So at the end of the day, you are not going to be homeless. You do not have to be homeless. You do not have to be that scared child standing up with no seat to sit down in.
We have yet to have a client that became homeless.
Yep.
Most of our contingent sales, by God's grace, have been able to move from one house to the other without any other staying anywhere or being displaced for any period of time.
Yep.
And that's part of writing the contract the right way to protect all the parties.
That's right.
So, anything else you want to add to this?
That's it.
That's it. I do want to add one thing then.
Okay.
Since you're not adding anything.
I'm not adding anything.
You're not.
I'm anxious to see what you're going to add.
Are you? So we're going to
see if it's worth it.
If it's worth it. You're about ready to make me forget what I'm going to add. All right. So, in the event that your property and you're in escrow, you find the replacement home, and it doesn't work out on your contingency, like you find something in the home, you still haven't committed to moving forward with your own buyer.
That's right.
Okay. So that's a scary thing. Like, what if the house I buy, I think I love it, and I make the offer, and then it's not the right house? Yeah. Okay.
I do my inspections, and I find it's going to cost $100,000 to fix the foundation.
The contract still says I can back out.
Yep. That's right.
And we had a situation like that. And my seller was looking for a specific home in a specific neighborhood out of the area, about an hour and a half from here. And so we listed my client's home. We went all the way up until literally, guys, the buyer had done their inspections. They had done their appraisal. Loan documents were ready. We're talking about really close.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. Ready to pull trigger.
Days away.
They could have closed within 5 days if my seller had said, we're good to go. My seller could not find a replacement home. And we had to cancel on that buyer.
Yep.
And that buyer could not seek damages against the seller.
Yep. It's all in the contract.
It's all in the contract.
Contract protects them.
And obviously those buyers were disappointed. My seller protected himself through the contract and needed to back out, which he did.
Yep.
A year later, we started the whole process over, and it was a success. So you're going to run into different scenarios and different things like that. And we know the California contract really well. And so this is advice for California. And we are looking for the people to raise their hand. So we don't know if you're raising your hand, though, because we can't see through the camera lens.
You know how they can raise their hand?
They can call us.
That's right.
833-305-BALD. 833-305-2253.
That's right. Or go to baldbrothers.tv. That's another way to raise your hand. You can fill out the form and let us know that you want to be on the mailing list, or you can contact us directly.
That's right. And we do send our podcasts out via email. It's also all over YouTube and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So hopefully wherever you're listening to us, you will like it, you will share, you will comment, and you will subscribe. God bless you, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Home Seller's Advantage. The Bald Brothers team is a licensed DBA of Real Broker, licensed by the California Department of Real Estate, number 02022-092. Again, we do not give any real estate, legal, or financial advice. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can call us at 833-305-BALD, or you can reach us online at baldbrothers.tv. Equal housing opportunity.